Hi there, we're going to be estimating center using dot plots on this Khan assignment. So this says the following data plot shows the number of people per table at Kingsley's Bingo Hall on 3 different nights. Each dot represents one of the 20 tables. Order the nights from least to greatest, typical number of people per table, and put the graph with the least value on top, the least typical value. So what we're really doing here is we're looking at how the numbers are laid out. It goes from 0 to 9. This is people per table on Thursday, 0 to 9 people per table on Wednesday, 0 to 9 people per table on Tuesday. We're looking for the most zeros because that would have the least number of people at that table. And we want the least on the top. Okay, so I already ordered these. This one has this many zeros. This one has fewer zeros, and this one has 0 zeros. So that would tell us that this has the least typical. That really means like the one that's showing up the most on the 0 or on any numbers toward like 0 or 1. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. You have to really kind of slow yourself down and analyze what they're asking you. So Miss Munoz had students in 3 class periods write essays for a diagnostic test. The following dot plot shows the scores from each class. Each dot represents a different student's score. So the directions say order the class periods from least to greatest typical score. So these are her second period essays. Nobody got a score of 1, 3 people got a score of 2. Again, the question says order the class periods from least to greatest typical score. So these guys have 2 people got 1, 1 person got 1. These scores are pretty high, so these graphs are kind of deceiving because if you have more scores to the left, they got less of a higher score, right? Because this 2 people scored 1, this many people scored 2, this many people scored 3. All right, this one's more balanced out. You have a 5, you have 4 4s. This one only has 2 4s. This one has a bunch of 4s and some 5s and a bunch of 3s. So again, this is deceiving. What you're looking for is a cluster of blue dots pushed farthest to the left. Those are going to be the classes with the least scores. So I think that would be this one. And then next would come this one. And then lastly this. Okay, so here this is all pushed to the left. Okay, so we would call it a right tail. It's skewed left or has a right tail. This one is symmetrical, and this one is skewed right or has a left tail. All right, so let's see what it says if I took a look at that correctly. All right, that one was correct. So Isabella grows several varieties of pepper plants. The following dot plot shows the number of peppers rounded to the nearest 5 per plant for different varieties. Each dot represents a different plant. Order the varieties from least to greatest typical number of peppers per plant. Okay, so least to greatest typical number of peppers per plant. So again, the least values are farthest left. Least is left. So there's a bunch of dots over to the left here. Here, these are more symmetrical, kind of in the center, and then there's one way over here. And these guys are sort of all grouped in the center here. So order the varieties from least to greatest typical. Well, I think this is the least, right? There's lots of dots over to the left. For this one, we have a 25, we have 3 30s, we have 3 35s. This guy has 1 30, 3 35s, 1 40, a bunch of 45s. It seems like this has more. Not much more, but it does have more. These dots are more clustered, either centered or to the left, and these are a little bit more spread out and they have this 70, so I'm assuming that's what it's looking for. Yeah, that was correct. So again, you have to really be careful. If you make a small mistake here, don't worry about it. This is just, we're trying to expose you to this type of question and to these type of graphs, okay? So last one, the following dot plot shows the number of chocolate chip cookies in each cookie that Sean has. Each dot represents a different cookie. Which of the following is the typical number of chocolate chips in one of Sean's cookies? So here, again, our label, this is number of chocolate chips. So there are 2 cookies that have 2 chocolate chips. There are 2 cookies that have 3 chocolate chips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies that have 4 chocolate chips, and so on. Which of the following is the typical amount of chocolate chips in one of Sean's cookies? So what they're asking you, look for the peak. Look for the number occurring the most often. The peak is also the mode, the most occurring digit ever, MODE, okay? 4 or 5 is what I'm looking for down here. Now 4 is not an option, so I'm gonna go with 5. 5 is most likely the average. If we were to add them all up and divide by the number of cookies we have, I'm guessing it's gonna be 5. Okay, so 5 is the average, that is the typical. It's what's kind of occurring the most frequently. All right, so that's it. Good luck with that one, and let me know if you get stuck. Thank you.